Check, YouTube, what's going on? I apologize for being that douchebag with my shirt off, but please, I've been zinning out all day today. I'm currently in Mexico isolating, and so I'm trying to take it in fully. And I feel like the less cloth I have, the more I get closer to nature. Anyways, I just want to make this video today to talk about my initial reaction when I was diagnosed with bipolar. So if you don't know, I was depressed. I was in a very long depressive episode, in and out and up and down for the past, for the past several years. And it wasn't until a little less than a year ago I was like, okay, I started having some suicidal ideations and I was like, I need to get help. And so I went to my psychiatrist and I told him what was going on, and I was initially diagnosed with depression. That's usually what happens with people with bipolar at first, because they tend to go in during a depressive episode. So I go in, tell him, he's like, okay, it seems like you got textbook depression, so let's give you SSRIs, which are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Long story short, they help you keep serotonin in your brain, because with people with depression, they might not be reuptaking or producing enough serotonin, which is like the feel-good chemical. It's what motivates you to do things and not just stay in bed all day. So we started on that, and I didn't really feel any effects for like the first 2 months. Really, it wasn't until like the third month that I felt something. I felt good. I felt really good, and I thought that they were working. And so what did I do? I decided to make a YouTube video called Do Antidepressants Work? My Experience with Zoloft. And if you go back and look at that video, I was tripping out the whole time. I was going crazy. I mean, I'm always an energetic person, but that was next level. And looking back, I was in a hypomanic episode. Now, I had a feeling I was hypomanic because I had these obsessive thoughts. I moved to California, I had that dream, but in this time, I was in college. I just wanted to drop out right away and leave to California like the next week. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I broke up with my girlfriend of over a year out of nowhere, unexpectedly. I was calling my family members, like talking about all these crazy ideas. I felt ultra productive. It wasn't until my sister Hillary was like, yo, are you manic? You know what I mean? And then I thought about it for a second and I was like, oh shit. I've felt this feeling before, and it felt so good even for her to say that, and it was scary, but it felt so good for her to put a label on what I was feeling. And right when she labeled that as manic, I knew it was true for 2 reasons. First reason is I researched that if you take SSRIs and you have undiagnosed bipolar, it can trigger a hypomanic or manic episode. So that was my first thing. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely the case. And the second thing was I had felt that way before, but for the longest time, I just thought that that was my baseline. Most of the time I was depressed, but those small moments of really up, they only really lasted a few weeks. That was mania or hypomania. Basically, hypomania is like mania, except not to that full extreme. You might feel enhanced creativity, you might feel better with your words, and you might feel, honestly, just like you took fucking coke or something. With hypomania, I got really comfortable with it, actually. Thought that those ups and downs were part of life and who I was. But really, life is about ups and downs, but not in the way of bipolar disorder, because when I have an up, I'm really up. And when I have a down, I'm really down. I feel the spectrum of emotions, but I feel them heavy, like deep down in my soul, whether I'm sad, happy, in love, angry, all these feelings, I feel them like in my bones. And that's another thing with people with bipolar disorder, is that, you know, they call us ultra feeling human beings, and I think that's really true. So all this happens and I'm feeling manic, and so I gotta go to my psychiatrist. Right as I realized that, I'll be honest, right when I realized that I was hypomanic and I was feeling symptoms of mania, my heart did sink for a little bit, because I thought I had it figured out with depression. I thought if I could just take these SSRIs, I would be okay, and if I did that with therapy, I'd be all right. Right when I discovered that that wasn't the case, it was scary. A lot of people, including myself at the time, are miseducated on what bipolar disorder is, and so I just felt like, I don't want to say my life was over, but I felt like my life was taking a big motherfucking plot twist. So I go to my psychiatrist and I tell him what's going on, and I tell him that I'm feeling really up, it's hard for me to sleep at night, I'm doing a lot, and I'm using the hypomania. I have like tons of YouTube ideas, I make a podcast and I'm fucking shooting those out, and I have all these like ideas to create and go around the world. And that's the thing that kind of sucked, was I liked that feeling a lot. It almost felt like a superpower. But in the long term, it's not good, because those ups and downs, it's not worth those small moments of ups and those huge moments of downs when I can just have stability, deal with life's normal ups and downs without my own brain chemicals doing their own fucking roller coaster. And I knew it was the smartest decision. I have family members who have bipolar disorder, and family members who have decided to leave it undiagnosed or not try to actually solve it in a healthy way, and they've turned to drugs or alcohol, and I've seen what that causes. And I thought to myself, I want to break this chain. I can be the one that's like, okay, I'm not letting this happen. I'm taking care of my health. I'm kind of rambling, but I'm just trying to give you a lot of context to the situation. Talked to my psychiatrist. He said, based on what I was telling him, that he thought that I was bipolar 2. I also kind of encouraged, like, I told him that, honestly, I go into my psychiatrist, he's like, hey, what's going on, Drew? I sit down, I'm like, hey, Dr. Carter, I'm bipolar 2. Here's why. Because I did a lot of research on it. I was hypomanic, so I wasn't really getting enough sleep, so of course I was researching it. And let me tell you, it is a very strange feeling being in a hypomanic episode, and then before you like know what it is, and then you find out what it is, and you can kind of like put 2 and 2 together, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm experiencing this right now. I'm hypomanic. You know, so it was a very strange time, but also I feel like bipolar 2, even though it's a diagnosis for me, it's like any other illness. I don't know why mental illness is treated differently, but if you have bipolar or any other mental illness and you're diagnosed, that doesn't define you. I am not bipolar. I have bipolar. I deal with bipolar. It's this part of me. It's not my entire being, even though it sure as hell fucking feels like it sometimes. So that was just all those things, and that's come with time. Like, I've had to heal and like deal with that and let it sit. I was diagnosed with bipolar probably late 2019 or early 2020, and we started a new journey. I went from antidepressants to mood stabilizer called Lamictal, which basically prevents you from having the highs and the lows, and it tries to get you in the middle. I'm on Abilify, which is an antipsychotic, which is supposed to help with the mood boost, because although I do feel a little bit more stable, I still get really freaking depressed. And so that's where I'm at now. I'm just trying to find stability, and I think it's really important to try to find an external environment that promotes healthy thinking, and whether that's being surrounded by good friends, whether that's finding good friends, or whether that's going outside and taking a walk and letting the vitamin D hit your skin, which is really important, or walking out in the grass after it rains and letting your feet soak into Mother Earth, or planting a garden, or planting carrots, or planting food. Those are all very helpful ways to connect, regardless of what you're going through. But overall, I have bipolar disorder, and I wouldn't take me any other way. I say that now, but I also have a lot of depressive moments where I get very low. And even today was hard, but I really love talking to you because it allows me to get into a flow and escape my own head. So, yeah, that's kind of the story in the context of bipolar. You are not your illness. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts simply pass through your head. You are a guest house to these thoughts and emotions and feelings. And all you can do is decide how you act upon those and how you treat others around you. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope this reaches you well, and you're giving yourself space to be nice to yourself, because you deserve it, and we're imperfect humans. So try to give yourself a little more love today. I love you so much. Thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.